we mentioned Flutie in this whole mix. And
Came along too soon.
Right?
Came along too soon.
He's a Heisman Trophy winner, one of the best players in college football coming out. Like, don't you think Flutie would be...
You spent time with him, haven't you?
Sure.
Okay, you spent time with him, Chris. Have you ever seen Doug Flutie athletically outside of football?
No.
Guys, let me tell you something.
No kidding.
He's the dude that you pick in the pickup game, and then you stay on the court through lunch. He's going to win those games for you. I'll give you a very quick anecdote. I was hosting the College Football Hall of Fame ceremonies back when they were still in South Bend, and he went in one year. And I'm hosting the ceremonies, and they used to have this little pickup game with all the honorees going in. Now, some of that was a little sketchy because there were a couple guys there with canes, and I mean, depending on their age and what had happened to them playing. Doug Flutie was on that field like a young colt. He was diving for passes and making catches. He was intercepting balls. He was doing things. He's that guy that if he came around now, we'd be evaluating him a lot like Kyler Murray. Arm, athletic ability, can create the plays, all of those things. He came along too soon, and when Mike Ditka called him Bambi,
that was it. But Ditka's from a different
era. But you remember what he said? It's like looking in the eyes of Bambi. And again, now missing the outlier. But remember, every time he got an opportunity, didn't he produce? But no one believed it for long. You know who he's the version of now? Case Keenum. When Case Keenum would produce, even after taking the Vice NFC Championship game, Mike Zimmer's like, nope. Let him go.
2007 Flutie Hall of Fame college football.
Yeah, I wish you guys had seen it. It was unbelievable.
Well, they don't make just Flutie Flakes for nothing.
But in a way, was Michael Vick too soon?
Michael Vick's speed and electricity was so dazzling. Plus, the way he threw the football, that ball came off his hand like a flick. Remember, Flutie was much more of a full arm motion guy, so it wasn't the same look. I mean, Vic, when he threw it, think about it in your head, Chris, when you saw Vic go in the pocket and all of a sudden 50 yards downfield, it was a dart, right?
I remember the national championship game when he was a freshman.
And if we look, do you mind looking up the numbers he put up that day? Because in our mind, he was a 300-yard thrower that night and a 150-yard runner, and I'll bet you the numbers aren't close to that. But it felt that way watching the ball game.
Well, he's the first quarterback to win a road playoff start in
Green Bay.
Field.
And remember him running that day? Yeah. And plus, Michael Vick was built solid. He was 6 foot and thicker.
And I'm hearing Murray's a version of him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing because if he is drafted where he is, then the transformation's complete.
It's complete.
To go from a guy who's less than 6'1" to be drafted first overall, first since Vic to be that, and now the next year a Heisman Trophy winner selected in the top 5-10 at 5'10" and an eighth. Do you think Arizona goes ahead and does that? I mean, how real is that going to be in the next 2 months?
I had been adamantly no, and someone I respect greatly said to me today, they took a big swing for the fences with Cliff Kingsbury. You might as well go all for it. Don't think it's out of line.
Send Rosen elsewhere. I mean,
don't think it's out of line.
DJ gave us the scenario. Send Rosen elsewhere for first-round selection this year.
Yep.
And you you use that to supplement whatever you would be supplementing. Then you take your first pick of the second round on Friday night, send that to Pittsburgh for Antonio Brown. And you got Antonio Brown, Larry Fitzgerald, Charlie Kirk, David Johnson.
Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk. Geez, I've been reading too much politics. Christian Kirk for with Kyler Murray for Cliff Kingsbury and David Johnson, and let's roll.
Listen, it's not an out of line scenario. I would not have gone that way up until these recent days. And when he stood up and was 5'10" and an eighth, and now it opens up the door even more in terms of that. I get it. What's interesting to me about it is just yesterday, I was walking with an offensive coordinator in the league, and we were having the discussion about Kyler Murray, and the big thing was, it reads 5-0, and then that next number was going to be the key for him. Was it a 9? Was it a 1 so you can get to 10? I said, what if that number's 8? What if it's 5-0, 8, whatever? And the offensive coordinator said, someone will still take him in the first round because they believe they could. I said, okay, so that told me a lot right there.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.